This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is...
Where can you drive the new 2025 Acura Integra for only $289 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them.
With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation.
Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Where can you drive the new 2025 Acura RDX for only $399 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge, Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
South Florida, listen carefully. Osmani Garcia with Omega Realty Group is changing the game. He's not just listing homes. He's guaranteeing to sell yours in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it himself. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. This is real. If you're serious about selling, call 305-440-1990 and see if your home qualifies. Osmani Garcia delivers results. Osmani Garcia, the home of the 30-day sale guaranteed, where guarantees are backed by action. Call now, don't wait. This market won't wait for you. Restrictions apply. Call 305-440-1990.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt and Rayom can help.
Where can you drive a new Acura ZDX for only $439 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome aboard on a Tuesday. It is May 20th. All right. May 20th, 2025. And by the way, It is 18,712 days since the Miami Dolphins lifted the Lombardi Trophy. So only 18,712 days. Happens all the time. All the time. Anyway, good morning. Hope you all are doing well. It is a beautiful Tuesday. We actually have a couple things to talk about on a Tuesday. We got David Furones. He's going to join us. We've got the Panthers in action, starting the Eastern Conference Finals, which is fantastic. You know, listen, they had a lot of rest down the last month. They gave guys rest and all that good stuff. Ooh, see, the Psychedelic Furs came out with something. Anyway, tour dates. And they've got Gary Newman opening up. Here in my car, I feel safest of all. So anyway, I'm glad that we're getting this thing going because our basketball team ain't there. There's really nothing else going on football-wise. There's really nothing going on right now. Canes are off right now. So there's really nothing. We need the Panthers. And last time they had some rest in between the end of the season and was it in between the first and second round? They had a couple of days rest, didn't they? And then they came out kind of flat, right? Well, maybe the opposite is better. Maybe the fact that they have a day off and then they stay in a groove the way they played that last game. Let's keep it going. So looking forward to tonight's game. We're all looking forward to tonight's game. I mean, it's the only real team in town we have. Every other team in town is Mickey Mouse. They've got no shot at winning whatsoever. This is the only one that's got a shot at winning. So we have got to embrace this all the way because it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're our only hope. Well, Florida Panthers, you're our only hope. Them and Nova Southeastern basketball. I mean, if we're going to be honest, right? It's about it. Those are the only ones that we could count on to be like real studs. It's interesting because Michelle Kaufman has an article. You should check it out. And the headline reads, let me pull up the headline at least so I don't screw it up. And it says, Inter Miami slumping despite messy, star-studded roster. What's going on? My opinion. And you should read it because she talks about a lot of things there. And I find this to be super fascinating. I find it to be very educational for everybody. So, you know, for those of you that don't like soccer, this has really nothing to do with soccer. So, just in case. It's kind of like The Sopranos. It's really not about gangsters, you know. Yeah, there's mobsters, but there was a lot more going on that had nothing to do with mobsters. You know what I'm saying? So, hang in there because I know there's some of you that hate soccer. So, they have a problem there. It's a problem that a lot of people have. So we're watching two franchises go to absolute shit because, well, I mean, one was an expansion team, so you started as shit in the sewer anyway, but they continue to be shit, and that's Inter Miami. The other is the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat are nothing but a play-in team now. The talent that they produce is play-in quality. Let's be honest now. The talent that the front office produces is play-in quality. That's it. It's all they can produce. So what's the common denominator? There, in those two spots and in some other places. Oh, I'm sorry, you let the inmates run the asylum. Messi comes, he gets all his buddies, they're stars. You know what? You know what's the best part about the Inter Miami Messi failure is listening to hardcore international soccer fans make excuses for fucking Messi. Oh, well, he's now no longer the best player in the world. Bro, if he's number 1 or number 4 or number 10, you should dominate the MLS, right? Doesn't the MLS suck? But wait a minute. They have 4 guys that are all former greats. So they still should be more than great in this league, right? Because the MLS is such dog shit. And yet they all are looking like a bunch of fools right now. I'm not sure where we put international soccer fans in the level of intelligence. Because you can't have it both ways, assholes. He can't take Argentina to a championship 2 years ago, and then now say, well, by the way, 10 months ago, he got embarrassed by Atlanta. So let's just talk about what it really is. He choked like crazy last year, so he was a year and something removed from a championship, and he can't dominate the MLS? Wow, dude. Messi can't dominate the MLS. I guess the MLS is better than maybe Serie A and Premiership fans think. Must be. You know what I'm saying? Because what happens is they have all that talent, but, it's kind of like when they come here, they get tested and pushed around, and look at him crying like a little bitch. American sports are a little tougher than anything that goes on in Spain or England, I guess. Sorry. Check out our hockey, just kind of the way it goes. The rest of the world, if you want to be soft, because I'm still trying to figure out how international fans explain this. 4 world-class players. How come they're not dominating the MLS? Because the MLS sucks, right? I mean, it must be a dirt shit league. But let's get back to the real point. Besides Messi being a choking dog, because that's all he is here in South Florida, Messi is a choking dog. I don't care what he's done anywhere else. He's an embarrassment here. Pelé came here and dominated the NASL. But let's go. You allowed the inmate to run the asylum. So now the Moss brothers look like complete idiots because those guys bring their own coach, their own GM. He brings his own buddies, and they're all failures. The Miami Heat allows Jimmy Butler to step all over him, bring even Kyle Lowry. The front office was stupid enough, fucking stupid enough to sign Kyle Lowry. Do you know how stupid of a front office you have got to be to give Kyle Lowry a $90 million contract? Bro, you are an incompetent front office. And here we have the Miami Dolphins. Oh, he's getting paid. No, I got to get paid. No, I got to get paid too. No, I want my money. No, I want my money. And then you just bend over backwards and just keep writing a check. A check for Jalen Ramsey when you didn't need to. A check for Mike McDaniel when you didn't need to. A check for Tyreek Hill when you didn't need to. Why? Because you signed the guys you had to, like Waddle. You gave in to the inmates. And guess where you're at now? Now you're stuck in cap hell. Now you're stuck with a guy you don't want on your team in Tyreek Hill, but a guy you have to have on your team because you can't succeed without him because you can't replace him. Can't count on him that he's going to help you, but you can't get rid of him and you can't replace him. I mean, it's the biggest dilemma in the world. And then you got another guy that wanted his money and now he wants out. So he wants his cake and he's going to eat it too because you allowed the inmates to run the asylum. It's interesting Meanwhile, the Panthers are all, what's the word I want to use? Accommodating. They're, I'm not going to say submissive. I'm going to say flexible, understanding. They get the big picture. Okay, I got to take a little less, but I know that Bennett's going to play with me, and Verhaeghe's going to play, and Barkov is going to be here, and Kachuk is going to be here, and we're going to keep Bob, and yeah, I want to be a part of this. So yeah, I want to be a part. Yeah, I'll take a little less. Interesting how those aren't inmates. They're actually part of the family, and they understand, and they all have the same trajectory. Hey guys, we all want to win. Effing Brad Marchand. I repeated it the other day. I said, you get very few opportunities to be part of teams like this in your career. He knows he's had a long career. He knows he's been around the game. He knows when you have these moments. It's interesting. When you don't let the inmates run the asylum, and the people that make the decisions upstairs that are going to make the sport, they really make the best decisions for the team, not for each individual. And that's explained to everybody. Hey, no, we're trying to win. So we cannot do this. We cannot give you this crazy-ass contract, and then we got to give that guy a crazy-ass contract and that. And how does that work, ladies and gentlemen? It does not work. And I want to thank Michelle Kaufman because I didn't have this as a topic to talk about until she triggered that. And I said, wow, interesting that the disease of the Inter-Miami team is the disease that the Miami Heat have. It's the disease the Miami Dolphins have. And it's interesting. Who doesn't have this disease? Super interesting. Amazingly interesting. Maybe the other three teams. We used to look at the Heat for guidance on how to do things the right way. They've lost their way. They've absolutely lost their way. Inter Miami has got a pair of owners that want to play fantasy soccer. And so they, enamored by Messi, and then they allow him to take over the whole thing, and now they're screwed. Now he's got them by the balls, and they're committed, and they're even overcommitting again, and they're extending the old farts because this is working so well. It's working so fantastically. Anyway, it's interesting. It really is interesting when you allow the inmates to run the asylum. Just look at the results. Do not allow players to dictate what goes on. That has to be a law that the second they walk into your organization, no, listen, you do your job. We're going to ask you to live up to your responsibilities. But your responsibilities are mine. You don't write the checks either. That guy does. So we make the decisions. The guy up there writes the checks. You guys play. The coach gives you the plan. You aren't the plan. You're just part of the plan. Players need to understand they are cogs. They are not the engine block. You can't allow that. Just doesn't happen. Okay? In Kansas City, it's the Hunt family and Andy Reid and the front office running the show, not the players. There's a reason why they're having success. Dan Campbell does things his effing way, bro. His effing way. And those people are buying into it. It might be crazy. It might be Tin Cup-ish. If you haven't watched the movie Tin Cup, you won't understand the reference. But it's what they believe in. It's not the players. It's the guy up top dictating how we're going to do this, and then everybody follows. The Heat used to be that way. And they used to have players that were sold out for the same purpose all the time. Just like I tell you all the time with the Miami Heat. Isn't it? Remember those days when the Miami Heat used to have stars? Those days are gone. They can't produce stars anymore. They can't have rosters of stars anymore. They don't know how to do it anymore because they used to do it one way. That way has been abolished in the NBA, and they have refused to adjust. So you allow the inmate to run the asylum, you get a crazy house. What do you have in in Miami Gardens? A crazy house. What do you have on Biscayne Boulevard? A crazy house. What do you have on Commercial Boulevard? A crazy house. Lesson learned. So Miami Heat, Inter Miami, Miami Dolphins, wake the hell up, dude. Wake the hell up. Anyway, good morning, you all. Hope you're doing well. Do want to remind you, our show is proudly brought to you by Subaru of Pembroke Pines at 16100 Pines Boulevard. And we are going to be out there tomorrow, starting off at 11 a.m. So if you happen to be in the Pembroke Pines area, by the way, if you are interested in a Subaru vehicle, mention my name and you will get $500 off your next Subaru purchase. There's the QR code. You can also use that. The Solterra, which is a fantastic vehicle. Honestly, it's the one Subaru that I'm looking, because I'm getting an SUV. I've told you guys, with climate changing and all that, and you can have floods and, all kinds of places that you got to drive through water, and any time could happen with a torrential downpour. I'm getting out of cars. I'm going to get elevated a little bit. And the Solterra, by the way, they've got the premium right now, 0% down, 0% financing for 72 months, $297 a month. The Forester base, these are all 2025 models, $257 a month, 3.9% financing. The Outback base, $247 a month, 2.9% financing. Man, there's just some great vehicles. The Ascent, see that out there on the streets all the time. The Ascent Premium, $317 a month, 3.9% financing. And the Legacy, $277 a month, 3.9% financing. Go check it out. They've got a terrific service center. It's a really cool place. And they just, when it comes to Subaru, everybody knows they're one of the most reliable vehicles in the world. That when it comes to their customer ratings, it's through the roof, number one. Everybody knows the Subaru is an incredibly reliable car, and they look really cool nowadays. So go check it out, 16100 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines, and tell them that Big O sent you. All right. So I see this Furs. No, I don't think there's a Florida date, man. That sucks. No Florida date, man. Usually the Furs come to South Florida. Usually they go to the Revolution Live. And I don't think I saw a date there for South Florida. That sucks. Anyway, good morning. I see NorCal is number one. Please don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. Por favor. Let's see. Fins versus Chargers. See you all in week 6. Puff, puff, give. Gus 1388. Cats going into the eye of the storm tonight. Yeah, no, they got to take care of the Hurricanes because they are disgraceful. The way they wear that jersey, it says Canes. It's maybe the ugliest jersey in all of the NHL. And they're just disrespecting the name Hurricanes. And really, they don't deserve to have the name Hurricanes. We all know there's only one institution that deserves to have the name Hurricanes. Okay? And it's right here in Miami, in Coral Gables. So, since the Carolina Hurricanes are a bunch of frauds, it's time for the Florida Panthers to crush these frauds. That's it. I see Brian Radke in the house. I see Lisa Rose. Let's see. Juan Rosa. Que vola hacer. Tonight is the night. Sending positive vibes for our Panthers. Not going to lie, I'm nervous because Hurricanes are damn good. I hope our Panthers come out aggressive. Peace out, y'all. They'll come out strong, dude. They'll come out super strong. Orlando Weissach for Inter Miami FC. I thought you were a fan. Dude, Ozman, you guys out there, you got to stop being little sensitive bitches. I love Inter Miami. I love the Miami Dolphins. I love the Miami Heat. I love the Florida Panthers. You're not above any criticism, dude. You're not above any criticism. And you're not above trashing criticism, too. Not only if you're bad, but if you do shit for 10 years, like signing Whiteside and Dion Waiters and Danny Granger and Bob and Kyle Lowry and keeping Butler around too long and Deadman and Scary Terry and bro, and you've produced championships. Inter Miami hasn't produced jack shit. Okay? Just because you're the Heat and Pat Riley, you're not above criticism, dude. And since nobody's really going out there and talking the facts, how embarrassing what they do, whether it's Inter Miami, whether it's the Miami Heat or the Miami Dolphins, brother, this is not the show for you blind-ass hometown fans. That if you just want an echo chamber to listen to only good shit, bro, then go there. This is not the place. You will get love when you deserve it. That's it. Inter Miami is a fucking joke, dude. They're a joke. Top to bottom, they're a joke. And apparently, you don't have a pair to actually look at it and say, oh, you're right, bro. It's a joke. It's a novelty. It's nothing. It's just a guy that came here to retire and brought his friends. And he's, and if he scores a couple goals early on, hey, all right. And when he does and he gets pushed around, he cries like a little bitch. He thought it was going to be easy. He really thought this was going to. This is Higuain part 2, and you don't seem to understand this. Except it's not fat and cigarettes. That's all. Messi's not about being fat or cigarettes, but it's the same thing. Don't kid yourself. It's the same thing. They're on their 4th coach, their 4th general manager. No, 5th coach, 4th general manager. They've been around only, 5 years, 6 years now? I'm sorry. Where's the stability? They just got rid of Campana and Robert Taylor and some of the guys that could help you right now. I mean, Osman, where does that make any sense, dude? Where does it make any sense to get rid of Campana? So this is not the show for you, bro. If you just want an echo chamber of Inter Miami positivity or Miami Dolphin positivity or Miami Heat positivity, you got to earn that shit here. You earn your praise here. And if you're an absolute joke, and if you continue to make dumb decisions, we will expose you on this show. It's how it's been for 35 years, dude. This has not changed for 35 years. Ask NorCal, ask Lisa, ask Ty in the Bronx. Let me see who I know for sure has been with me 15 plus years. Ask any of those kind of people, bro. Ask any of them. I'm not here to bullshit, bro. I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here, not with you guys. I'm saying with teams and players and all that. I'm not here for that shit. No. I'm giving you the facts. When you allow players to make decisions and determine who you are and what you're going to do, Dolphins, Inter, and Heat, check out the common denominators. Not the show for you, my brother. That's what I can tell you. I can already tell you this is not the show for you. If you're too sensitive and worried about me taking shots at Inter Miami when they deserve them, sorry. When they start doing things like this, then we'll talk, bro. Then we'll talk. But they've created an environment that, hey, you know, they got players. They got the one player he's got his own GM, his own coach, all his buddies, everything. And they thought it was going to be, they were going to coast. The league has figured their asses out, and they have adjusted and brought more Argentine players and more people that they know onto the team and got rid of some of the guys that actually they really needed. Campana's, he was the guy outside of the top four that I want on the team more than anybody else. Campana had one issue with him. What was it? Injuries. He figured it out. He stopped getting injured. He kind of figured out his body, and he's, you know, and he took off. I have no idea. So I don't know what you're seeing and what I know what I'm seeing, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. That's all. McD will be fired at Spain or after Spain, but yeah, it's the inevitable. You and I know it. I mean, you know, I hope he proves us wrong and he shocks us, but I've seen this story before, unfortunately. Caitlin Clark was defending her teammate from the previous. Please, dude, don't worry about that stuff. You know, it's interesting in life how we have a double standard for a lot of shit. And last year there was clear bias, racism, and dirty shots constantly at Caitlin Clark. And they did very little to nothing about it. And so she gives this girl a hard foul, and all of a sudden, you know, it turns into this whole thing. And it's interesting how it doesn't go one way, but it completely goes the other way, you know, just kind of interesting. And it happens in every way, shape and form, every color, every nationality, every sexuality, every size, whatever. There are biases for everything. But somehow or another, the bias towards Caitlin Clark was not really magnified last year. It was on this show. Because it was clear bias. Okay, it wasn't just hard basketball fouls. So the young lady went into the offseason, went into the weight room, built her body up a little bit more, which you see it clearly. And she wanted to deliver a message that here's a hard foul, and you're going to go down, and you're going to be put on the line because you suck offensively and you missed one of the two free throws after that hard foul. So that's what, you know, again, this is what I keep telling you. That's what I like about the WNBA. There's a lot of hard fouls. They play the inside-outside game. It has the elements of the NBA I used to watch. Enforcers, everything. So Caitlin Clark was sending a message. She's not taking any shit this year. What do you expect? Did you expect her to not stand up for herself? And so now other people are freaking out that she stood up for herself. I back Caitlin Clark 1,000%. Angel Reese is as ignorant as it comes. And her team is ignorant, and her coach is ignorant. I watch basketball. I know basketball. Okay? That coach is allowing the inmate to run the asylum. Oh, no, sure, you can dribble. Sure, you can become more of an offensive player. No, you can't. That you do gradually. You build your game inside because she doesn't even have a post game. But we're going to develop an outside game. It's just stupid ignorance. Basketball is built inside out. So what you do is you make her a really good post player because she's awesome getting rebounds and defending inside in the paint. That's where she is. She's remedial in basketball, super remedial, not only mentally, but in her game. Okay. So the ignorance it affects her entire game, and it's affecting her team. She needs to play inside. Pretty simple. And then you build her out from inside out. She starts shooting a 6-footer and an 8-footer and a 10-footer and a 12-footer and a 15-footer. That's how you do it with Angel Reese. You don't just you go piecemeal. You don't just, okay, yeah, you can take over the team. You can run the offense and all that stupid shit. She had 5 turnovers. They take the ball easily away from her because she's big. She doesn't know how to dribble. It's like there's just stupid shit that goes on sometimes. And, it happens with the Miami Heat. It happens with the Chicago Sky. It happens with Inter Miami. Some organizations don't know what to do, or in the Heat's case, lose their way and really don't know what to do anymore and really don't figure out what they're supposed to do. And they just continue down the path of making mistakes. And that's what they've done for 10 years now. So, sorry, my brother, but this is what's going on, And so the whole Caitlin Clark thing is just a double standard. Typical, as always. Typical. They ruined everything last year with Caitlin Clark. They kept her off the Olympic team because they wanted to keep Diana Taurasi, who's 41 years old, to win her 6th gold. What did that mean? Nothing. You put that girl on that team, the level of interest skyrockets. And it pumps women's basketball to kingdom come. So she started off the season already with a triple-double. She's going to have a monster year. She'll be the greatest triple-double player ever in the history of the WNBA in a very short time. She's going to put up staggering stats because she is a beast. She affects the game in so many different ways. She had 4 blocks the other day. So built up her body. Now she's building up her defense too on top of all of that. She's not a great defender, but she's building it up as a team defender. So it's, again, dude, it's just a bunch of crap out there and a double standard. That's a bunch of bullshit, because the hate and the bias towards that girl last year was disgusting, and it was obvious. So, she came back and she sent a message. I'm not taking your shit. And I'm all for that, bro. I'm all for that. All she did was take shit last year. That's all she did. And in a basketball play, she sent a message. Wasn't anything dirty about it. It was a hard foul. Hard foul. Problem is, when it happens to you, you react differently. But when you're doing it to others, it's all right. It's just part of the game. That's the way Angel Reese felt when she was hitting her right across the head when she was driving to the hoop last year. It's just a basketball play. No, it wasn't. It was a dirty shot. You weren't even going after the ball. She did. She went right after the ball, locked down her arms in the ball to make sure she didn't get a shot off, and put her sorry ass at the line. And guess what her sorry ass did? Shot 50% from the line. That's called smart basketball. Last time I checked, in the men's game, they hammer the bad free throw shooters. Right? They do it all the time. And sometimes they got to take the big guys out towards the end of the game because they know they'll go after them. And if they don't hit the free throws, they're in trouble and all that good stuff. So Angel Reese sucks offensively. You're supposed to hammer her. Put her at the line. She's bad. It's pretty simple. It's not really rocket science. If you watch the game and you know the game, you know what's going on. True FinFan says, I vote for an all-new sensitive bitch alert. May I suggest the first recipient, Cosa Nostra? Any thoughts? Morning, Here's a tough one for you. Halle Berry or Elizabeth? No, that's not tough. Halle Berry's. Halle Berry. Halle Berry. Ray Grullon, howdy-o. Very true facts. Thank you, sir. NorCal says, no sugar, no BS. Facts have no feelings. Just bring it, Big O. I mean, what am I going to do, bro? It is what it is. Player-run teams don't work. That's right. That's right. The team has to have the final say and has to make tough decisions constantly. And you're going to have to part ways with people, and you're going to have to send a message that you can't make everybody happy. And if we're going to win, this is what we have to do. And you have to learn how to get off the gravy train. Something the Miami Heat and the Miami Dolphins do not know how to do. They have had trouble getting off the gravy train, and they hang on to players too long. And that's a problem. So, yeah. Even Angel Reese said the foul was just a hard basketball play. Of course it is. I don't know if she said that or not, but I know all the stupid overreaction, they can all go to hell. To me, that was a good, hard basketball play. That was Caitlin Clark. Well, she might have said something, Jay, but she didn't act like it. You know what I mean? She wanted to fight her and all that kind of stuff, and that was just a hard foul. You know what this all is? Really? What this is all? Caitlin Clark lives in Angel Reese's head. Lives. She owns her ass. That's what it is. Caitlin Clark owns her ass. She wants to be Caitlin Clark. She'll never be Caitlin Clark. She doesn't have the skill set. She's Charles Oakley. How the hell are you going to be Michael Jordan or Pistol Pete Maravich or whatever you want to compare her to, Magic Johnson or whatever, when you're Charles Oakley? You're a rebounder. You're a grunt. You're a role player. It's what you are. You try to make yourself more than that, but you're not. That girl is a franchise player. So it's a whole different ball game. And this year they went and got her some talent, okay? Because she really had like 3 people. Now they went and got her, and they got her a big veteran that added some toughness to the whole deal and all that. So they're going to be really, really good this year. They'll be a top 4 team in the league easily. Caitlin Clark's going to be a monster in this league. But Angel Reese is a thug in the league, is what she is. She's just a terrific, brutal inside player, rebounder, shot blocker. That's what she is. Her offensive game is garbage. Absolute straight garbage. Okay? She's got a great media presence. She's pretty as hell. All that kind of stuff. So she's got all that stuff going on. So she's got plenty going on for her, but she wants to be more than what she really is. And some of you out there, because most of you have shut up already and you disappeared. I don't know what happened to you. I guess maybe you got a little intelligence, but some of you out there were actually thinking she was a better player than Caitlin Clark, which shows that you know nothing about sports overall, period. End of story. Because if you can't see that, automatically, you know nothing about basketball. In fact, I'll go that you know nothing about sports because it's super obvious. The level of jealousy is ridiculous. They finally have a player that can fill NBA arenas, and they're fighting it. These are stupid women that do this. You're trying to injure your meal ticket. These are ignorant women that do this. You go out of your way to take dirty shots. These are biased women that we're talking about. Not all of them, but there's a certain section that fill all those 3 criterias. And all three of them, by the way, all three groups, they're also stupid. That's your meal ticket, dude. That's the Tiger Woods lifting the entire sport. This is your moment as a league. You got somebody that is lifting the entire league. Ride the coattails. Embrace it. Instead, all you got is jealousy, bickering, and bias. It's really an interesting thing that goes on with the WNBA. And the people that run it, the level of stupidity on that end is amazing. Finally, they started to come around. I guess they took so much criticism last year. Maybe somebody got to them and they got a brain or two, and now they've got her on pretty much all the nationally televised games, and they're figuring it out now. Stupid. But what are you going to do? It's they don't know what to do with a real superstar, and the girl became a superstar. And too many of these girls cannot deal with her being a superstar. The jealousy is pretty ridiculous. The bias is disgusting. So I'm glad she sent the message. That's what you got to do, bro. You can't take any shit from people. And that's what she did. She sent a message to Angel Reese's ass. You got nothing here. Okay? All your bully bullshit that you pulled last year doesn't do anything. Here's a nice hard foul. Get your ass to the line. See if you can at least be competent and make two of them. Oh, you can't? Good. It was a nice hard foul. And then guess what? Check the final score, Angel. We kicked your ass round side. That's what I like about what Caitlin Clark did. She hammered Angel Reese like she deserves to get hammered. Put her at the line like she deserves to be put at the line because she'll miss. And it's an advantage for your team. And then at the end of the game, you hand them a 20-point plus ass kicking, and you send them home going, oh, shit, we can't compete with them. So the only thing she or Cardozo or anybody else can do is take dirty shots. And maybe that's what will happen in the next game, that Angel Reese will succumb to being dirty, because that's what she's known for with Caitlin Clark more than anything else. So if that's what she wants to go with, hey, man, go for it. By the way, Osmani Garcia, Omega Realty Group, he is guaranteeing, if you're looking to sell your home right now and folks are starting to put their homes on the market, you want to sell your home in 30 days or less, guaranteed. You're going to love my guy, Osmani Garcia. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games, none of that. Call him 305-440-1990. That's 305-440-1990. 30 days. He will sell your home or buy it himself. So call, check it out, reach out to Osmani, see if your home qualifies. And good luck. Good luck to you. Anywhere in Florida, by the way. What else do we have? Jamie in San Jose. I hope everyone is having a great week. Remember to smash the like button. Yes, please. Smash, smash, smash. Okay. Skylar, imagine living in a world where sensitivity is viewed as a weakness. Come on, guys. We all have things we're sensitive about. Yeah. Don't be sensitive about your sports team here. I love them all. I'm as hometown guy as it gets. Born in Belgrade, Florida, raised in Miami. I've watched and joined all these teams from the get-go. But my job is to be objective and to do a talk show. My job is not to sit here with pom-poms and bullshit you people about stuff that's going on. And, listen, that's why you listen to pre- and post-game shows when the teams that run it, because they can only speak positively. They can only try to spin something. Well, if we can do this and this and this, but they'll never really be brutally honest. Unfortunately, for some of you out there, that's what this show is. Brutal honesty about what really is going on and where the state of the team is and the franchise. And it's just not good for some. All right, let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. The great Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. If you need custom printing or embroidery, please call Alan. You can get all of that done through Zoom calls and everything. A lot of our listeners, or some of the businesses that have called, I'm sure their listeners or viewers, they have done it all through. In fact, one of our listeners, Alan told me, was it Illinois? I think they shipped out a bunch of uniforms. So I think it was Illinois, one of our listeners. So it's pretty cool, even out of town. So it doesn't have to be only here in South Florida, because you can do a lot of that by email and Zoom and all that kind of stuff. And then it gets printed, boom, gone. Tonight, 8 o'clock, TNT, Panthers and Hurricanes. 8:30, little basketball action, T-Wolves and the Thunder. Of course, us Panther fans probably won't be watching much of that. I'll have it on the side TV, and I'll glance at it, but man, I'll be fixated on the Panthers. The NFL, by the way, is expected to approve players to play in a flag football competition in the 2028 Olympics. And and linebacker Fred Warner signs a 3-year extension worth $63 million. 56 of it is guaranteed. He is signed through 2029. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. Fred Warner getting signed. Some of you out there that are sensitive Dolphin fans may not want to tune in right now. Anyway, so Fred Warner signs, and Sean, you would call him a great linebacker, wouldn't you? Fred Warner? Right. When was our last great linebacker that we bred and had here for a while? Who was it, Sean? Just out of curiosity.
Channing Crowder?
Again. Try again.
I would say Zach Thomas,
Channing,
honestly.
I love Channing.
I know. I was kidding. I said that as a joke, but I'd say Zach. You'd have to go back to Zach, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because Jason Taylor and Cam Wake are not linebackers. I kind of look at them as defensive ends, to be quite honest. I don't look at them as linebackers. Cam Wake could not play linebacker anyways. In coverage, he would die. That wasn't his thing, dude. Okay, he was a pass rusher and could help you out some in the run, but it wasn't, he wasn't really a linebacker. He was an end. Jason could play whatever the hell he wanted to play, but I consider him more of an end too. Okay, so it's Zach. Zach freaking Thomas. Do I have to tell you before that? Offerdahl, Brian Cox, Monicani. Where do we go? Do AJ Dewey and Bocamper, linebackers, defensive end? Okay, whatever. Linebacker, that's fine. If you want to do it, I'm good. Those are more fair. Okay, whatever. What happened? Do you want to know why the Dolphins don't have a great defense? I'm sorry. Sean, walk me through this. Was the defense pretty good when Nick Monicani was the middle linebacker?
Yeah, they were decent.
Okay. John Offerdahl. Did he play with some pretty decent defenses? Not great, I won't say, but he was pretty good in his own right?
Yes, he was.
Zach Thomas. Was that defense pretty special?
That defense was special.
You haven't been special in a while. It's interesting. And listen, there's some decent linebackers on this team. I like what Brooks did last year. It's not that they're not good players. We've had good players here at linebacker, but it's been forever that we've had our own here that's bred and been and is here for 7, 8, 10, 12 years. An entire career where you're like, wow, dude, like Offerdahl would have had a longer career, as we all know, if it wasn't for the injuries, but he was a monster and a half. And you knew with Offerdahl, you were set at that position. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, the injuries shortened his career. But you think about that. I when I saw the Fred Warner thing, I started to think about it. I go, man, the Dolphins haven't had their own linebacker in a long time. And it's interesting that when they do, okay, and especially one that can stay healthy in Bonacani and Zach, wow, it's interesting how your defense was pretty. Those are the most special defenses that you have, are the ones led by those kind of guys. They're certainly not led by Jay Brophy. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of weird and at the same time disturbing that they can't find another linebacker to, kind of keep things going. And knowing your history, knowing the success that your team has had when you find that guy, because you can start to build around that guy. It's disturbing. It's bothersome. And I wish that we could overcome that, because it would be good to have another great Dolphin linebacker here, plug him in there for 10 years and say, okay, wow, this is good. This brings a calmness to the defense. You can start to really build around that when you have the quarterback of the defense. They've had some good players come by at that position, but not a lot of great ones. Not a lot of great ones been developed and stayed here for a while. And that's a shame, because it makes such a difference in the history of your team. Don't forget, folks, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation, which we always appreciate that. Thank you out there. As always, very kind of you all. Where is Bitcoin right now? We are, let's see, we are at 104,761. So holding at a higher level, right in that 105 area. It did hit 106 point something. Our high, remember, is 108,700. So, once we hit 109, we'll be enjoying the latest peak for Bitcoin. It's coming. That I am not worried about. They'll get this bill eventually passed, and they'll raise the debt ceiling $4 to $5 trillion, and let the printing begin, ladies and gentlemen. And that's not even without Powell actually lowering the rates, because he's not going to lower the rates for the rest of the year. There's no way. No way. Maybe next year he starts lowering some rates, and then that'll be more printing on top of all of that. But yeah, we're not going to get the triggers that I was expecting. I thought they would all happen. None of them happened. So that's the sad part. So it kind of delays a little bit. But don't worry. Catalysts are coming, because they know how to print, and they're really good at it. So they will print. Hang in there. Let's see, what else do we have? I wish the Dolphins drafted Danny Strutman this year to be the linebacker, but the trenches come first. Yep. Big O, you're not putting Carlos Dansby. No. Oh, man. 110K and beyond is going to happen real soon. Oh, what's your best guess as to when it takes off way past the previous high of 108. I think within the next week we go over that. We're already screwing around with it, So it's about to pop in that sense. I totally and by the way, once this bill the budget is agreed, the big beautiful bill is agreed upon, that will inject the liquidity also that we're looking for. So, it's all coming. I don't worry about this. What I like is that it buys me time to stack, because that's what this is doing. All of this is not. I don't look at it as a negative. I know what the inevitable is. They don't know how to save money. Neither side. They're going to print. Okay, so it doesn't matter. They will devalue our dollar. They have no choice. So risk assets will fly eventually. Okay, the guy in office is all about risk assets. And all the people that support him in the campaign are all about the risk assets. So they will all get rewarded. And if you're on the same train, you will get rewarded. It will happen. The average person will not get rewarded. They will get crushed. But that's what happens with everybody. It doesn't matter who's in the office. You know what I'm saying? So it'll happen. Don't worry about it. Hang in there. It's just one of those things that we got to deal with. It's just the process. This is why I don't go with technical analysis. Very little technical analysis matters. It just doesn't, because what happens in the world really dictates what goes on day to day, week to week, month to month. Liquidity or what's it called? Triggers that happen in the market, whether it is, some kind of inflation, job loss, pandemic, chain supply issues. Those are the things that constantly affect investments up and down. The technical analysis is only good if you have the same scenario perfectly every other time. Then you can use that as an example. But because everything is so volatile, there's no way. Look at Japan right now. Japan is going through hell. Their bond market is exploding, just like the U.S. They're in major debt crisis. They own over 1.1 trillion of our debt. What's the screwed up part about Japan? They can't sell our debt because it would make their crisis even worse. So our bad debt is helping their even worse debt stay afloat. If that makes any sense to you, you'll understand what I'm saying. It's insanity, because every country is working on debt. That's why Bitcoin will explode, man. Oh, Lordy, 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 Lordy. Corso says Nev Campbell or Jennifer Love Hewitt. Bro, Jennifer Love Hewitt. Like by miles and miles and miles. Nev Campbell's a good-looking girl. Hot in those days, back in the day when she was doing those movies and she was on a roll. But Jennifer Love Hewitt, when she did that show that she was like not an escort, but she was like a massage therapist, but happy endings would happen, that kind of stuff. Whoa. Wow. She looked good, like really good. And when you look at Jennifer Love Hewitt, then at that moment, and you go look at her when she was really young, you're like, whoa, what happened? Like a Cuban woman walked into that body. Anyway, let's do it. 1 hour down. Hour number 2 is next. We talk a little Dolphins football with the one and only David Furones and our Welt and Realm Miami Dolphins report. And folks, if you do need a lawyer, 954-966-4646.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Realm. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
There he is, ready to go. You ready for the game tonight?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How are you?
Good. Something you'll probably never cover: the Dolphins in a conference finals.
Sorry, say again. I lost you for a second.
I said something you'll never cover is the Dolphins in a conference finals. I'm just wondering, did you ask your editor, hey, please, can I have the experience since I'll never have it? And with my beat, can send me on this one or something. Did you ask for that or something? I don't know.
Yeah, we do have our Miami Hurricanes writer, Adam Lichtenstein, covering the playoff run. Last year, I did get involved in the Stanley Cup final home games. So did get to cover game 3 times at home. Yeah, 3 of the 4 at home I covered, including Game 7. So the clincher was there for it, witnessed South Florida sports history. So hopefully, if they get to the Stanley Cup final again, then we send extra. We go all out and send our sports section out there. So hopefully get to see that.
What kind of shit is that? What kind of shit is that, bro? What the hell is if?
Yeah.
When?
You're right.
When? When? Okay. When? Just like we can be negative about some teams, we can be positive about some teams too. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel great about them. I think they'll win, actually. I think they have more firepower than Carolina. It won't be easy because Carolina's tough defensively and they're a physical bunch just like we are. But I think that the Panthers outlast them because they have more firepower than Carolina. So I love our chances actually to win this series. So that should be fun.
Built for the postseason, and what an addition Marshawn has been.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let me ask you this question because just kind of came up when I'm talking about it, when I see this. And Fred Warner just signed a contract extension, 3 years, $63 million, 56 guaranteed. So he signed through 2029. So let me ask you something. When was the last time the Dolphins had their own great linebacker that they created?
Well, considering that just this year, as Jordan Brooks was putting up these big tackle numbers, the linebacker that I had to compare him to as far as it was the most tackles since, it was Zach Thomas. So we're talking 20 years now, just about a little bit under that mark, where you haven't had a linebacker of that caliber. I know they've tried with like a Carlos Dansby or a Daniel Ellerby, but
it's not a draft pick.
Right, not a draft pick. Right.
Player. That's not like getting John Offerdahl. You know what I mean?
And even Jordan Brooks is a free agent.
Yeah, even Bonacani was not a young player, but he was an expansion guy. So then you got him, overall, and he wasn't an old player at that moment, and he led your defense, obviously. So it's the history of the Dolphins. When that defense is great, it's when they produce one of their own, and they have a guy that, can really lead their team and you can build around. And it's interesting that since Zach Thomas, the Dolphins have not been able, while they can't find a quarterback, they actually can't find the quarterback of the defense, the middle linebacker.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully Jordan Brooks is that guy who was a free agent pickup, but and also it's so different now with how teams prioritize. They want the pass rushers first, they want the corners first, they view those as the premium positions, and now middle linebacker, right? Not like like I grew up on the late 90s, early 2000s where middle linebacker was everything. If you had your Ray Lewis in the middle, Brian Urlacher, Zach Thomas in the middle, then, that's when you were set. You established that. That was your foundation, and you built around him. Where now I think it's the edge players and then and the edge of the secondary, the corners, where you're looking with the game played on the outside so much, both in the trenches and when it comes to receiver cornerback matchups.
Although Fred Warner is viewed as one of the more important guys on that defense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And by the way, they've been on a roll with linebackers over the years too, before Fred Warner. So I'm just saying it just like you start looking around the league, and I think you can find some guys. What's the name of the guy for the Jets? Mosley.
Mm-hmm. CJ Mosley.
He's a badass. I think if Steelers, is it Patrick Quinn now, their middle linebacker?
Right. Ravens had him out of the draft.
Right. So you have guys in the league, and when you see those guys, their defenses usually are pretty good. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of interesting that Miami hasn't been able to really fill that spot with somebody that is super special, that historically becomes one of those guys in your team, because he'll be here for 7, 10, 12 years and make that mark. And we haven't seen them, draft and develop that kind of guy.
Yeah, not draft and develop. But again, I really do like Jordan Brooks. So I think they got a guy right now to be that guy who's in his prime and puts up immense tackle numbers and can be versatile with everything he does.
Bobby Wagner type. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Bobby Wagner's another one.
Nice that every year you come back to your team and then there's that guy in the middle. I get it. The pass rusher, the shutdown corner is godly important. I totally understand that. But that middle linebacker to me is kind of really the heart and soul of that defense overall, because he's the guy making all the calls. You know what I'm saying? And he does a lot of the grunt work you just mentioned, because usually they're tackling 130, 150, 170 times a year. So they're one of the reasons why your defense is so damn consistent, because the guy can run sideline to sidelines.
But you're right about the 49ers, because not only Fred Warner now, but Patrick Willis before that. They had Navarro Bowman with him. And then alongside Fred Warner was Dre Greenlaw as well. So, and they have been a solid, consistent defense for, maybe there was like a brief period in between those two linebacker cores. But from that group, from the Patrick Willis guys to then you've seen that's a consistent defense that has produced over a long period of time.
You get a Roquan Smith and you put him in your defense, and you know what I'm saying? It's just, it would be nice to see that again with the Miami Dolphins, that they get a young guy that just grows up and leads your team. It just settles everything when you have that when you have, they've been dying to find the quarterback of the offense. That's your quarterback of your defense, dude. And by the way, I like Tyrell Dodson kid, right? Is that the kid from last year?
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a steal of a pickup off the street. Hopefully
Right.
he backs up this season with what he did last year, okay? Because now they'll have tape and all that kind of stuff. But you're right. I like Dotson. I like Brooks. The Dolphins do have some decent linebackers right now. I will say that. They're not weak at that position anymore.
Yep. And then I think to the Eagles getting Jahad Campbell in the draft, who was the premier middle linebacker. And it's like, man, the whole league messed up letting him go to the Eagles at the end of the first round. Like now Vic Fangio gets this guy too, and the Eagles are just always drafting these top-notch defenders every draft. But but that's also a testament to how it's maybe been devalued a little bit. Like Jahad Campbell, if he's in the draft in 20 years ago, then that guy is like surefire top 10 pick. A team can't miss him as a middle linebacker, but then now it's like everyone's trying to look at all those other premium positions, as they call them, and then leave a linebacker sort of to by the wayside.
Yep. Michelle Kaufman had an interesting article talking about how let me read you the headline in the Miami Herald. I know it's the competitor paper, but it's
all good. And Michelle Kaufman was a teacher of mine at the university.
We're all friends. We're all friends and support everybody. Inter Miami slumping despite messy star-studded roster. What's going on, right? And interesting that Inter Miami struggles, the Miami Dolphins struggle, and the Miami Heat struggle, and they all have a common denominator. They are allowing the inmates to run the asylum. And they're all getting the same results. Messi has his own coach, his own GM, his own players, friends of his. It's not working out. League's kind of figuring him out right now. And what are they doing? They're re-signing these guys. They just gave Alba a contract extension to 2027. You look at the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler comes in and does shit that LeBron never did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what I was going to bring up too.
Right. Exactly. And then you look at the Miami Dolphins. You give in to pressure because, okay, we have to re-sign. We have to sign Waddle. There were a couple of signings that you had to make. But then all of a sudden, Jalen Ramsey says, I want money. Why? You don't need to give him extra money right now. Tyreek, you didn't need to guarantee the money right now. Mike McDaniel, you didn't need to give him an extension right now. I mean, there are several things, and because you gave in to the players, look at Ramsey. Not only does he want his money, now he wants to eat his cake too because he wants out. So he got his money and he's getting out. He's not even grateful that he got his money.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how when the inmates run the asylum, look at the results of what's going on with those three franchises in town. Here, the inmates don't run the asylum. Here, they take less money because they want to play with each other, and Bennett will take less because Verhage will take less, because Barkov will take less, because everybody wants to play with each other. I'm talking about hockey. And so, Marshawn will be the challenge in the offseason, correct? Now, well, Marshawn probably will say, I could go somewhere else, but man, if I stay here for a little less, I stay with these guys, and this is my kind of hockey. You know what I'm saying? You create an atmosphere where people are sacrificing and want to be there and want to play with each other. Whereas in all the other places, they're playing for the love of the money, not for the love of playing for each other. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting how we have three franchises that maybe have lost their way and don't really understand that they need to be more in control. You can speak on the Miami Dolphins part.
Yeah. And I was going to mention briefly with that Miami Heat, mention how even when the big three was together, Pat Riley still had a structure there. Like LeBron didn't get everything he wanted. There was a structure that he had to abide by. This is LeBron James, who was a two-time defending MVP before that 2010 season when he came over. Won another couple more MVPs here. Won a couple Finals MVPs. But he had that structure, and I believe he also took that with him once he went back to Cleveland, and then also with the Lakers, who obviously had their own long-standing structure and history with them as well. But I think he really learned that, how he called it like a college experience, learning how to win here with the Heat culture. But you're right. I mean, I've said it since back at the start of the offseason, once it was how Tyreek Hill was saying he wanted out, and there was that whole drama before it settled, even though we knew they could never really trade him. And we thought the same with Jalen Ramsey, but now as we approach, we're very much getting closer to June 1st, and that salary cap hit can be lessened post June 1 with a trade for Jalen Ramsey. Then that really facilitates being able to get that done. So it was you gave everyone money. You had to do the Waddle extension. We know that. Tua, if he's your quarterback, then you had to pay him big quarterback money. We understand that. And that's why they're trying to keep their outs now after he got hurt his first year after signing that extension. But then Jalen Ramsey on top of that. Tyreek Hill going into the season because he saw other people were getting money, and he wanted his guarantees added to his contract. And Mike McDaniel right before the season as well. And then since then, all 5 of those have either let you down or said they wanted out. In Tyreek Hill's case, both. Jalen Waddle had his worst season. Tua got hurt and missed 6 games. Mike McDaniel's third season at the helm was underwhelming to say the least. And Jalen Ramsey, he did not underperform on the field, but now he qualifies under the wanted out part. Where now he's looking for a trade. So really, all those big moves you made, they've come back to bite you. So it's the appeasement, trying to make everyone happy. It did not work this past cycle for the Dolphins.
Yeah, no, it's that's been the bad part. All right, anything on the cornerback front, dude?
On the quarterback front, as far as
cornerback signing,
corners
for somebody, because they still need. They need some depth there.
Yeah.
What they have at all.
Yeah, it's still sort of waiting in the wings. I mean, maybe whoever they do bring in, it's just like won't bring them in for the OTAs and minicamp, because now we're already about to get into OTAs portion. And, we saw that like with Calais Campbell last year, because he was a 38-year-old or about to turn 38 years old back then, veteran. And he doesn't need a mini camp. Now, whoever it is, you would want to see them get into the building. But considering that Asante Samuel Jr. had a neck surgery in April that was reported on, and he's one of the guys, also a South Florida kid from St. Thomas Aquinas, he's one of the ones in the mix, then possibly waiting to see how he comes away from that surgery a little bit, how he's healing. This is just speculation here as to why it's taking so long, but also could be intertwined with the Jalen Ramsey trade. If now to the point where post June 1 is obviously a much better way to go about that, then you get that money and then can invest it into the free agent corner that you signed. But I mean, still, those same names are still out there. It's not like they have gone and signed elsewhere. So you still have your Rasul Douglas, you still have your Stephon Gilmore out there. I know I'm missing someone. I mean, Jair Alexander is a possibility. So still, a lot of those same guys still there. And Asante Samuel has kind of been like the guy that I've looked at the most as a South Florida kid, and still only 4 years into the league. But obviously that neck issue is concerning.
All right. What are you working on the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Yeah, tomorrow we're going to have a big day of having assistant coach interviews. So look forward to hearing from the new assistant coaches the Dolphins have, like the new special teams coordinator, Craig Ackerman, like Bobby Slowick, who is coming and joining the offensive side of the staff. So, and just hear from everyone else. It's going to be kind of hectic just trying to get from coach to coach when a lot of them are going to be around in that setting at the same time. So just trying to hear from as many of those voices as possible. And I'll have some stories on that.
Folks, don't forget, you can call our friends at Welt and Realm if you're dealing with bankruptcy issues, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. They've helped so many of our listeners now over the last 5 years since they've been on the platform, helped ourselves too when Progressive wasn't living up to their responsibilities. They crushed them. So make sure you call Jeff Welt or Daniel Rayom. The consultation is completely free, 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. All right, David, one more thing before I let you go. The NFL is about to approve the flag football. I completely disagree with this. Players can't even stay on the field. Tyreek Hill gets tired in the middle of a game and can't keep running routes for you. I've never heard of that. You have an entire offseason. You play once a week. You don't have time to get tired in an NFL game. You don't do it enough. Plus, I go back and think about Robert Edwards chewing up his knee in a beach football game in the Pro Bowl. So, and Robert Edwards came back, but he was never the same again after that. To me, you're risking injury for no benefit for your league whatsoever. You're the NFL. You don't need to promote your league, dude. Your players cost so much money that I don't know where this makes sense for them to play a silly flag football game in the Olympics. And please give me a break about competing for my country and all that bullshit. We're talking about flag football, dude. We're now adding all kinds of ridiculous sports. All right. I'm not impressed, dude. Go throw a javelin, go run track, go, do real Olympic sports. Flag football is not an Olympic sport, dude. This is just some bullshit that we're adding for more television coverage, for more eyes because we love football and we want to add it to the element of the Olympics and all that bullshit. But if I'm the NFL, college maybe, let college players do that. That's fine. But if I'm the NFL, there is no way in hell I want any of my players that I'm paying millions of dollars to be anywhere around that silly game. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll give you this, and this is probably what's in the back of Roger Goodell's mind is the 1992 Dream Team and the NBA and how much the NBA has taken off globally, internationally since then. Because while, yes, the NFL is king in America, and you say you don't need to promote it any further, it's already as established as it can be in America. The NFL is still, look at what they're trying to do with all these international games, adding new countries that the NFL visits. It first started with London, and then they get some Germany games, and Brazil, and now Spain, where the Dolphins will be going.
I'm sorry, are they struggling to sell tickets to those events?
No, but I mean, this is how you grow the game internationally on a global level. So I mean, in all those countries.
Why the hell do they need the Olympics? They don't need the Olympics.
Well, the Olympics will help. That platform helps a lot to grow internationally.
That doesn't make any sense to me to put players at risk for this.
Now, I also do understand they have limitations on how many players from one NFL roster can join the Olympic team per country, which obviously most of the players would be representing the United States. So that obviously creates some limits in itself. And I mean, yeah, the Olympics take place at it's kind of like the very start of training camp. So yeah, it would be detrimental to a roster if you lost a player, competing in the Olympics in flag football. But let's also consider that a lot of OTAs and mini camp and off-season workouts, that's what they're doing. They're running routes on air. It's a flag football type of 7-on-7 in practice. So it's not like they're banging with the pads and tackling to the ground a lot. So it's kind of like what they're already doing, but you add some competition. You put it on the Olympic platform.
Was Jalen Phillips tackling anybody to the ground?
Was Jalen Phillips tackling anyone to the ground? You're saying what? Last year when he came back from
when he got injured? Huh? When he got injured, was he tackling? Was it out in the open field that he just blew
yeah,
in it?
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Not contact. I think he got tackled. I think he got tackled by friendly fire.
And I Chubb, was that also wasn't contact either, right?
Chubb. Well, wait, hold on, because now I'm struggling to remember the play. No, it was non-contact. It was non-contact, right? Yeah.
And let me tell you, when Cam Wake injured it wasn't real like tough contact. He just came off the thing and he tore it, and then he started hopping towards the quarterback. Cam Wake didn't even stop the rush after he blew out his Achilles. And it really wasn't a lot of contact. I'm just saying, dude, this happens all the time without any contact. You're not tackling anybody. You're cutting. You're making moves. And ligaments just give. It happens a lot. So.
Yeah. But, I mean, just the same way it could happen in training camp. Jalen Ramsey hurt his knee early that training camp.
This is not your job. It's not. You're not paying that player to play flag football and win a medal. You're not. You're putting more mileage on him. You're putting more wear and tear on him, and you're putting him at risk is what you're doing at that moment. That's all you're doing. You're possibly hurting your team. You're not helping in any way at all.
But I mean, I'm okay with all these different rosters putting one player out there to represent the United States and in a form of football that the whole world can play, and it's not the pads and tackling of the NFL. Yeah, and I mean, injuries can happen with anything. They can happen with your off-season workouts. So you're always going to be at risk to get injured. So, but here you're just getting your workouts in with a little extra competition on the global stage. I'm for it.
I just hope we send a practice squad player.
Yeah. Or, I mean, there was that quarterback that was talking about that in flag football, he'd be better than Patrick Mahomes. So
Right. Yeah, exactly. Or that kid that Tyreek wants to race, that influencer. What's his name? Or they already raced or whatever. I forgot his name.
Yeah. Something. I forget.
Yeah, right. It's with an I. Yes, exactly. He's very popular. All right, follow him on Twitter because he's also popular. He is David _ there on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it, and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, as always, thank you, my brother. We will catch up later on in the week.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
Thank you. Welt and Rayom, 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Hey, Sean, I'm having a little bit of an issue here. I want to know because I want to make sure that I'm not being treated any differently than you or anybody else, Sean, okay? I keep going to my mailbox every day, and I keep looking for my $5,000 Doge check. I have not gotten mine. Have you gotten yours? Because I was told we're going to give Americans $5,000 each from all the savings.
I have not received it yet either.
You got yours?
No, I have not received it as of yet.
All right, I'd be pissed if you did.
No, I have not.
Okay. All right, I just want to check. I don't know. Anybody else get their Doge check? Did you get your $5,000 check? Just waiting, man. I keep waiting for it, and it doesn't show up. I want to buy some Bitcoin with it. And I'm waiting and where is it? Jesus. I was told I was going to get that. Speaking of liars, JP Morgan is going to allow their customers now to buy Bitcoin. How about that? A liar like JP Morgan, who has trashed Bitcoin for years while his European arm is gobbling it up. He's now going to allow customers to buy Bitcoin at JP Morgan. Yep. Yep. He's such a nice guy now, huh? And he still doesn't like Bitcoin because he doesn't want you to get better in life. Not that I'm a financial advisor. True Fin Fan says Robert Edwards, horrible injury playing flag football on sand Pro Bowl weekend. I remember seeing it on SportsCenter. It was terrible. Leg. Yeah. And you're right, Eric. I did forget about the great Aubrey Beavers. Dude, that guy was an athletic marvel. Aubrey Beavers. Yeah. I mean, dude, like you thought, okay, the Lord blessed you physically, you know? He couldn't play a lick. Derek, another guy was very athletic, linebacker, built like a god, bro. Derek, come on, guys, help me out. In the Jimmy Johnson era. Derek something, Oklahoma, I believe. Derek Rogers. Thank you, Lewis. Derek Rogers, really nice guy, by the way. Like one of the classiest dudes you'll ever meet. Good dude. Another guy that was on the all-runway team. Like he looked great. His athleticism was sick. Just never really a good football player. Never really turned into a good linebacker. You know, he was like half decent, maybe a backup or something, but he wasn't really a good player. And, but man, Aubrey Beavers and Derek Rogers athletically were built like perfect human beings. Like it's the kind of bodies that you like, damn, dude, if I had that body, I just want to go to the beach and just the women will just flock and follow me. You know, that kind of deal. Like perfect. You're like, wow, how come? And then they run like the wind and they can jump and they can lift and they do everything athletically, but they're not good football players. It's like Zach had half the talent of Derek Rogers and Aubrey Beavers. The Lord gave Zach half of their talent. And he was 5 times the linebacker that each of those guys were. How screwed up is that? They can't run like Derek. He can't run like Aubrey Beavers. No shot. No shot. He's not stronger than them. Nothing. But Zach will be at the play better than them. Anytime he's going to read, anticipate. He's going to be there. He's going to make more plays than both of them combined. In fact, Derek Rogers and Aubrey Beavers can put together 3 complete seasons, and those 3 complete seasons won't equal 1 season of Zach Thomas. But everything else about him, you're like, wow, those guys should be badasses. Like, Brian Cox was a big, strong dude, also like intimidating, and he was a good player. So you got the best of both worlds with Brian. You actually got the big physical guy, and then he was also a good player. These guys weren't, man. They weren't. And you rooted for him, especially Derek Rogers. Man, what a nice guy. That classy person. Smart. You know, he just wasn't a good player, unfortunately. Football is much more brutal sport than basketball. I don't want to see my teams ever play more than they already do, even if it's flag. Yeah. Plus, you know how pissed we're going to be if your receiver or your corner or whatever blows out his knee and you can't play the season because he played some stupid ass flag football game in the Olympics. Come on, dude. We're adding flag football to the Olympics. What a joke. Where's Frisbee football? I'm more impressed with Frisbee football than flag football. Because completing a Frisbee pass downfield, that takes way more skill. Way more skill. That's more impressive. So let's do Frisbee football. And no NFL players. David Boston was ripped. Yeah, he was, but he's the funniest ripped dude I've ever seen in my life. Okay? Because he was this big, chest-wise, like this, and then his legs were like this. He had calves like a 110-pound person. You're like, bro, the steroids didn't travel to your calves. Like, what happened? Like, do you have like some corks or something at the knee level? Chest, big, thick ass thighs. Calves, there were toothpicks. Toothpicks. We're like, well, wait a minute. Are you seeing this? How does that jive? How does he stay healthy? It's like he's a thoroughbred. You see thoroughbreds, beautiful bodies, and then the tiny little legs. You see a quarter horse and it's thicker all the way down, like other horses. They're normally thicker on the bottom. Thoroughbreds are not. That's why they're very fragile. And David Boston, the weirdest shit, dude. His steroids never went to his calves. Never. Troy Drayton was that way too. Troy Drayton was a big, wide guy, and his calves were like this. Oh, man. It's funny. Terrell Owens' dad, another guy built like a sculpture, kind of reminds me of myself. Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, you mean Terrell Owen, not his dad. I've never met his dad, but Terrell Owens is, bro, he's chiseled perfect. Perfect. And to his credit, he maintains it. You got to give him a lot of credit there, dude. He's way past his years of playing, and you look at him and he still looks phenomenal, bro. Always. He always took care of himself. Always took care. That's why he came back in that Super Bowl. Let me tell you, true Fin fan. A tribute to his conditioning is the reason he comes back in that Super Bowl and catches 10, 11 passes, 150 yards or something with a foot that was, I don't know, what was it, like 6 weeks removed from surgery or something stupid? Like something we had never seen before. And that's a tribute to his body being such Adonis, being so perfect and such a fine-tuned machine that he was able to kind of overcome that ailment of his foot and get through it and produce more than most people would ever do. I don't know how long. Can you look it up, Sean, how long Terrell Owens was out before that Super Bowl? And that's a tribute to his conditioning. Massive credit to his conditioning. Jeremy says, I expect the Dolphins to get a top 5 draft pick this year. And Tua plays very well, and the team sucks. You still fire the head coach. Hopefully, Stephen Ross better get a winless head coach in 2026. Let's see. Oh, Deontay Wilder also has the skinny little legs. I didn't know that. I haven't noticed that. You know that she's the one, if she loves the Dolphins, characteristic of loyalty, always there for you with nothing to return. If she likes the Chiefs or the Eagles, pull out, she will flip-flop. There's something to be said about a woman that is still committed to the Dolphins. There is a level of loyalty there. I mean, how are we all committed still to the Dolphins? Seriously. They do nothing for us, and we sacrifice. Yes, sir.
7 weeks.
7 weeks. I said 6. I was off by 1. So 7 freaking weeks. There was what, a broken foot?
It was a broken leg and torn ankle ligament.
That's ridiculous. And again, that's a tribute to him. Okay. Yeah, you got to give. I know T.O. was an asshole in many ways and all that kind of stuff, and he wasn't a good teammate sometimes. But as a player, he professionally did what he was supposed to do, taking care of himself, and he was, always ready. So, yeah, there's no doubt about that. You got to give him credit for that. 9 passes, 122 yards after breaking his leg. Yep, that's it. I said 10 or 11. It was 9. There you go. Yeah, just insanity, bro, to see what that guy did. What else do we have going on? Let me do a little music. Don't forget, folks, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. Let's go with musicians born on this date. Busta Rhymes is the first one we start off with. Born in 1972 on this date. Patty Russo, the female lead singer with Meatloaf, born in 1964. Brian Nash, guitarist with Frankie Goes to Hollywood, born in 1963. Nick Hayward from Haircut 100, the lead singer, in other words, born in 1961. Dan Wilson, born in 1961 with Semisonic. Closing time. Let's see. Sue Cowsill from the Cowsills, born in 1960. Jane Weedland from the Go-Go's, born in 1958. She's my favorite Go-Go. There's a picture of Jane in her, she's in a hammock. She's like underrated hot. Okay. For me, at least. And even in her older age, I follow her on Instagram, and she had this picture on a hammock, and dude, her calves were like, you're like, whoa, damn, dude. Like, she maintains herself too, takes care of herself. Jane Weedland, really, may be the heart and soul of the Go-Go's. Might be, like, musically and everything. It probably is Jane Weedland. What else do we have in Steve George, keyboardist for Mr. Mister, born in 1955. Jimmy Henderson from Black Oak, Arkansas, born in 1954. Steve Curry from T-Rex, born in 1947. Sherilyn Sarkeesian, born in 1946. Joe Cocker, born in 1944. There we go. That's musicians. Let's go with other famous people born on this date. If I don't give the age, that means they're no longer with us. And here we go. Actor James Stewart, 1908. Comedian actor George Gobel, born in 1919. Actor Dave Thomas, born in 1949, is 76 today. Ronald Prescott Reagan, born in 1958, son of former Ronald Reagan, is 67 today. Bronson Pinchot, would you like that with a little lemon twist? Born in 1959, he's 66. Tony Goldwyn, actor, born in 1960, 65. Mindy Cohn, born in 66. She's 59. Facts of life. Timothy Oliphant, actor, born in 68. He's 57. Hall of Famer Tony Stewart, racing car champion Tony Stewart, born in 71. He's 54. Let's see who else. Trinity Rodman, futbolista. She was born in 2002. She's 23. Sean Stanley. Do you have wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir. Akam turns 32. Caden Carter is 37. The Road Dogg turns 56. And Vanessa Bourne, she turns 32 on May 20th, 2025.
All right. Elizabeth Hurley and Billy Ray Cyrus taking a major relationship step. Look at that. All right, let's go with music history. Today in 66, Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey got tired of waiting for their bandmates, John Entwistle and Keith Moon, to show up for a gig. So they took the stage with the bassist and drummer from a local band who opened for them. When John and Keith showed, there was a fight that saw Pete hitting Keith on the head with the guitar, and John and Keith quit the band, but rejoined a week later. Yeah, Pete Townsend is not a guy who really takes a lot of shit. In 97, the Foo Fighters released their second album, The Color of the Shape. In 95, Don Henley of the Eagles married Sharon Summerall at a ceremony. Henley's famous friends, Tony Bennett, Billy Joel, Sting, and Bruce Springsteen performed. I'd pay for that. In 97, U2 caused traffic chaos in Kansas City, Missouri, after they paid for traffic control to close down 5 lanes of highway so they can shoot the video Last Night on Earth. During filming, a passing Cadillac crashed into a plate glass window while trying to avoid a cameraman. In 78, Paul McCartney and Wings, With a Little Luck, was the top song in the country. It was the former Beatles' 6th solo #1. In 2006, Tool had the #1 album with 10,000 Days. In 98, Black Sabbath drummer Bill Ward was taken to a hospital following a heart attack. He also suffered he suffered during a band rehearsal. In 2012, B.G. Robin Gibb died of cancer at the age of 62. Please, let's solve cancer already. In 2013, Doors keyboardist Ray Manzarek passed away at the age of 74 from cancer. Damn cancer. And that's what happened today in music history. Corso, thank you for the love on the super chat. 3 Doors Grace or 3 Doors Down? I'm going 3 Doors Down. All righty. Want to thank all of you out there for tuning in. As always, we thank the great Sean Stanley, mastering the platform. Remember, you can make a donation to the show anytime, anywhere, whether you're listening or watching, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, and you can even make a Bitcoin donation. We shall see you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. from Subaru of Pembroke Pines.